Hi folks, welcome to Set Apart Homestead. This is Travis. Well, it's been a rough start of the season for a lot of folks. It's raining right now. It's been raining and raining and raining. We get a little bit of a break for a day or two and it just barely starts to dry out the ground, barely, at least the surface, and then it just starts raining again. And it just seems like we can't get enough rain. And as you can see, most of the garden is still bare because it's just a swamp in there. I can't get in there to really get much planted because it's just such a swampy, muddy mess. So hopefully we can get something going by the end of this month, maybe by Memorial Day, which is around here. A lot of folks used to be the kind of the day to start planting was Memorial Day weekend, just because of the possibility of this happening. And this year just seems to be a lot worse. You know, today it's barely even 50 degrees, and here we are, the middle of March, or middle of May, sorry, middle of May, and we're barely at 50 degrees. And I know that that's kind of the case with a lot of people. A lot of people lost a lot of their gardens because of cold weather earlier this week, freezes and stuff. And, you know, I kind of am of the opinion that we're looking at the grand solar minimum. And that's what is probably happening with the just the difficulty of getting things started. But anyways, that's not really what the video was supposed to be about today. I just thought I would give you that update. We've been just working crazy hard around here as much as possible to get this new piece of property up and going. It's a beautiful piece of property, very fertile, excellent location. But like as many of you would know, it's been starting all over again, getting pens built, fields fenced in, gardens tilled, structures built. So it's been kind of a mad rush lately, every day as much as we can to get a lot of this stuff up and going, because we know the urgency, more than normal, more than a normal timeline of getting a homestead up and going. We are fighting against things that we know that are coming down the pike of some real tough times ahead. And we've already seen a little bit of it. I think we've, you know, the last 2 to 3 months, we've been able to see a glimmer of what lays ahead. But I think it's just the tip of the iceberg, folks. I don't think it's over. I think the average person out there thinks that, oh well, it's good, it's over, things are opening up, things are going back to normal, and it's all good. You know, we're able to go out. I've seen just in the last week videos and footage and photos of restaurants packed, of parks packed, bars, all kinds of places that's opened up in certain states, and they're just packed with people going in because, you know, the average person just can't handle the fact that they've been closed up for, you know, the last few weeks, and they got to get out, and they got to go do their partying, and they've got to go out to eat, and, you know, they're tired of eating microwave food for the last 2 months because no one knows how to cook. And I would think that probably come September, probably not that far away, but on the long end, September, we're going to start seeing a second wave, maybe before then. And the reason why I think that, for several reasons. And let me preface what I'm going to say. I am no scientist and I'm no doctor. I have no special degree in any of those fields, but I can read, and I'm pretty smart, so I'm able to digest what I read and understand what I read. And historically speaking, most viruses have waves to them. pretty much all do, especially new viruses that are, newly exposed to the population. And we've experienced the first wave. So that means we have at least one, maybe two left to deal with. And historically speaking, usually the first wave is the easiest one to deal with. And so think about this, folks. You've got a bunch of people that's been cooped up in their houses for a couple of months now. Because of that, they've not been exposed to all the healthy bacteria out there that builds our immune system. They've been disinfecting themselves in the areas that they do live as much as possible, which also, maybe in the short term, is beneficial for killing something that may be harmful, but in the long term, it weakens our immune systems. It's kind of like growing up, the kids that always played in the dirt and out in the woods, running around the forest and outside, were always healthier than those kids that were raised, where their parents wouldn't allow them to go and get dirty and play in the mud, and they tried to create a little bubble, a sterile bubble for their children. Those were the kids that were always the sickest, and it's because they weren't allowed to build their own natural immune system. So you've got these people that's been cooped up for a couple of months. Their immune systems are probably weaker than they ever have been. They're not really probably eating healthy. And they're being told to wear masks everywhere. Well, it has been shown in studies that masks limit and reduce your breathing capabilities, which therefore hamper your immune system. Masks are good for short-term use, for acute, use, say in a hospital, in an ER situation or a surgical situation, but on a day-to-day using them over and over again every day, long-term use of them can potentially reduce your immune system because it weakens your breathing capabilities, it weakens your heart, your blood flow, all those types of things. So now these people are being, thrown out into the public, out into the open, and they probably, a lot of them are, kind of got that kind of almost allergy, cold, sniffly of just being cooped up all the time. And guess what? Second wave comes in. But is that really the most dangerous thing that we have to worry about? No. Now that I've blown away almost 10 minutes, let me get to what I really wanted to talk about today. I'm mad about this. And it's what I want to call de facto martial law. And I think that's what we're under right now. Now, unless I am mistaken, whether I'm wrong and missed it, or we're just not publicly told, there has been no martial law declaration. I know many of you want to say, well, because this has happened and 50 states have issued national emergencies, that in a sense makes us a martial law situation. The point is that there has been no official from any government saying that we are now under martial law. But guess what? That's exactly what it's like. That's what the government is acting like, we are under a martial law. And most of this is from the states and the local county and city governments. These stay-at-home orders, these orders that you can't go to church, these orders that you can't go to a park, that you can't walk around, that you can't go just anywhere you want to go without being able to prove that you're an essential worker or that what you are doing is necessary and essential, is really unconstitutional. What people have forgotten, and what I mean by de facto, the laws and the things that governments and law enforcement are doing are as if we were under martial law, even though there's not been one declared. And sadly, the American people sit blindly by like sheep and allowing it to happen for the most part. And so they're getting away with acting as if we were under martial law, even though there isn't. And they're getting away with trampling on your rights, on the Constitution, on state laws that they know that they're blatantly crushing and walking all over, but you know they're doing it because it's for safety and health reasons. It's a community health hazard, and so we have to do these things regardless of the fact that we're just destroying individual rights. One case, an example, and you know, we're hearing a lot of these beauty shops and barber shops. There was a guy, 77-year-old guy up in Michigan, wasn't able to get unemployment, was told he had to close his shop down, and because of his age and the type of work that he does, he wasn't able to qualify for unemployment. Okay, and he fought and fought trying to get it. Basically, he said, you know what? If I don't open up and make some money, I'm gonna lose everything I have. And so defiantly, he opened up his business and he started becoming a barber again and cutting hair. And the governor and the attorney general, they didn't like that. And so they said, you know what? If you don't shut down, we're gonna have you arrested. And he said, I'm not gonna do it. I can't survive, put food on my table, pay for my bills by closing my business and staying at home. And you're not paying me any, you know, unemployment. So what am I supposed to do? So I'm going to stay open. Well, the attorney general has ordered that he be arrested. And guess what? Local citizens that are armed, you could call them a local militia. Some of them may be from organized militias, and some of them are just local citizens that are armed, have come to his aid and said, you know what, we're not going to allow it to happen. And anyone that tries to come into this man's business and arrest him will have to get through us. These are the things that we would see under martial law, with little pockets of people being defiant. Unfortunately, we're not seeing enough of that. So where is this going to take us? You know, I was just talking to my mother today about this, and you know, I could be wrong, and I've said this over and over again on this channel. If I am wrong, then man, I will be the first to admit it. But I don't think we're ever going to go back to normal. And I don't think things are necessarily going to get better. They may get better in a short term. They may look better, give the appearance of being better for a short term. But I believe this is all going downhill. It's going to continue to go downhill until we hit some sort of rock bottom. I don't know what that is. But I believe that at some level this is planned. And whether it was planned in the sense that they're taking advantage of an emergency to use it to their advantage, to bring in some new world order, draconian rule, or it was planned from the beginning. I don't know. But the point is they are not allowing this good emergency to go unused. And here we are seeing de facto type of martial law, where the governors and county officials and local city officials are passing these executive orders. These are not going through proper channels to make them legal legislation. You're not seeing any state legislatures passing laws and the governors signing off on them, or you're not seeing any county commissioners or city councils for the most part. Most of this is just executive orders from health departments or from governors saying this is the way it is and this has to be enforced, and if you don't do this, you will be punished. That is not what executive order power is meant to be. And these are not legal, constitutionally legal laws, but because they have the power, everyone sits back and allows it to happen. Folks, I'm telling you, it's not going to get any better, at least not for a while. Food shortages are going to get worse. The weather that we're seeing all across the country, I think it's only going to get worse, and that's going to, you know, hurt our growing. It's going to hurt our food supply system that's already being horribly damaged for various reasons, and it's at this point it doesn't even matter why. The point is the food supply system is crumbling, and now we're dealing with cooler weather, you know, grand solar minimum type you know, weather and temperatures. Folks, it's time for us to take this serious and get ready. and put all your efforts into getting yourselves more and more prepared. Because I don't want to sound like a doomsdayer, but I'm telling you, I don't see things getting good for a long time. I think we're in this for a while, and as preppers, we're constantly talking about, you know, oh, preparing for SHTF. Well, guess what? It's here, and it's time to get your homesteads in order, get your food. You know, we've got our, in fact, actually today, we just ordered a bunch of meat chickens, chicks to raise up, and doing things like that to fill your freezers as full as you can, your root cellars, your pantries. You know, even though we're dealing with this rain, we're trying to grow as much as we possibly can this year. We have drastically increased the amount of garden space that, you know, we normally have had, just for the reasons of what we're dealing with. We're trying to produce as much food as we possibly can, and that's what you need to be doing. Of course, preparing, and not just enough food and ammo and all that, preparing your minds, getting your families ready, getting ready for the possibility of not having things, for instance, like internet. They're already clamping down on it. Just my channel alone, and there's all kinds of reports of thousands and thousands of channels being deleted and videos being deleted. Several of my videos have been deleted, but about a third or more, I haven't counted up, but just scrolling through and looking, I would say at least a third, if not close to half, of my videos have been demonetized. And these are videos that have been up for 6 months to a year. Why all of a sudden demonetize them? So they're doing everything they can. The system is doing everything they can to control, opposition control, to control what we hear, to control what we know. And so it's up to you and your families to get yourselves ready for that. There may come a day that either the internet isn't available or you just don't want to use it because there's too much tracking, too much keeping track of what you're doing, too much control of the information that it makes it almost worthless. There's just a lot of things we have to start being prepared for. And for decades now, many of us have you know, preached this message and have done everything we can to prepare ourselves. And I believe in my heart today has come, the day has come that we have been preparing for. And it may not look anything like, you know, I see people saying, well, this doesn't look anything like what I thought it would be. That's why we prepare, because we prepare for any type of scenario. And here we are. We are not just in a pandemic, but I think we're looking at a breakdown of our system, a breakdown of our society. And when that happens, when it all starts falling apart, which I believe is orchestrated, that's when the new era of peace will be ushered in. But it won't be the kind of peace that you and I hope for. And that's why we have to prepare. All right, folks. Keep working at it. Sorry I haven't been making a lot of videos, but like I said, we've just been working like crazy to get things done around here, but I'm trying as best I can to get more videos put out. And thank you for watching, liking, and sharing, and I'll catch you in the next video.